Hi yogi friends, you're going to need a strap or a belt for today's class. Today we're going to be doing a 45-minute hip opening and hip release Hatha class. A lot of floor work today. So we're going to start lying down. Make your way down onto your back. And once you're lying down, hugging your knees into your chest. Just give them a nice squeeze in. If you want to rock, you can rock side to side. But keep the shoulders down and stay heavy on your lower back. And centering yourself if you've been rocking. We're going to drop feet down to the sides of the mat. So make sure that your feet are wider than your hips and your shoulders. Don't do this with feet touching. Feet wide apart, otherwise you don't get the release. So rolling knees and thighs from side to side. Exhale to drop knees down. In breath to lift them back up to center. And keep going. Now, if you have a very tight or uncomfortable lower back, keep your bum on the floor, and then your knees won't go so close to the ground as they roll side to side. That will give you a better release in your back. Otherwise, it's fine if your bum on the one side comes up as your knees drop to the other side. Now check in with your shoulders and your arms. Sink them down heavily into the mat. Relax those arms fully. And next time you lift your knees up to center, we're going to keep them there. Walk your feet into hip distance apart. And then bring your right ankle onto your left thigh, just above the knee joint. And we'll lift that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Now flex both your ankles to give your knees support. And you can hold onto your left leg with your hands. Maybe you want to hold on with one hand and press the right hand onto the right knee to help release the right inner groin a little bit more. That gently pressing the right leg away from you will soften in the groins and the inner thighs. Then check your arms, sink the shoulders, even though the arms are lifted. And start to focus on your breath. Follow the inhale and the exhale. Next inhale, next exhale. Try to keep your mind focused on that breath flowing rather than focusing on your thoughts. Bending your left knee. We'll lower the left foot to the ground, then take your right foot to the floor. So we're keeping hips aligned as we go in and out. Change to the other side, left ankle to right thigh. And then lifting that right leg straight up. So we flex the ankles again. The shape of the left leg right now means that your knee is in a bit of a precarious position. So we want to flex the left ankle to keep the knee supported and protected. Again, you can hold on with your right hand to the right leg and gently press that left knee or thigh away from you. And then sink the shoulders. Soften into the sides and the back of your neck. And keep your breath flowing easily and gently. Just keep bringing your mind back to noticing that you are breathing. And each time you breathe out, drop the shoulders. Sink into your spine. Sink into your pelvis. Bending your right knee, take right foot to the floor, then the left foot down to the ground. And we'll widen the feet once more, just like before, and roll a few times. Exhale to lower knees, inhale back up to center. Relaxing the arms to the ground. And next time you take your knees over to the right, we'll keep them there and bring your right foot up onto your left thigh or just above your left knee. Be careful that you're not pushing on your kneecap with that right foot. Then again, as you breathe, fully releasing down and sinking with each exhale. Feel your head get really heavy. Then carefully lifting legs to center, feet on the sides of the mat again, and roll knees over to the other side, to the left. Left foot onto the right thigh. Get even heavier in the shoulders and the upper back. And really soften into your breaths now. So working with the breath is a very important part of helping tension release in the body, particularly associated with the hip joints. Carefully lifting back up to center. Slide your legs in to touch each other and then slide the heels forward so that you straighten your legs on the ground. So big toes are touching to start, and then bring your right knee up into your chest. And you either hold onto your knee or your shin or the back of the right thigh, but squeeze in tight with your hands and stretch long through the left leg, pressing that left heel away from you. Pull the left toes up. So left foot is flexed. And now keep your left bum on the ground and open your right knee out towards your right armpit or shoulder. So the right thigh moves up towards your right waist, knee moves towards your armpit, left shoulder and left bum are flat on the ground, keeping your body stable and centered. Then bringing right knee back up, and we stretch the right leg on the floor. And bringing your left knee up, and once you're holding onto your knee or your shin or the back of the thigh, stretch really long into your right leg, press your right heel away from you, and pull the toes up towards your knee. So flexing the right ankle and flattening the back of the right thigh into the ground. Keep sinking your shoulders and the upper arm bones. Keep your right bum down as you open that left knee towards the left armpit with your left hand. Chest is completely square to the ceiling, upper back completely flat on the mat. Each time you breathe out, squeeze your belly button in tighter towards your lower back. Bringing your left knee back to center and stretching that left leg on the ground again. And once more, bringing your right knee up to your chest. Flex your left ankle, and we're going to circle that right thigh bone and knee around in the air. So you're rolling around in your own time. Your whole body stays completely still and stable as you roll that right leg. It's the only thing that's moving right now, from the hip down. Pressing into the floor with shoulders. And now circle that same leg around in the other direction. And check in with the left leg. Your left foot is still flexed to help keep the left side of the body strong and grounded. And make sure that you are breathing the whole time. Now next time you bring your knee to your chest, you to hold onto it again. Stretch the left heel even further away from you. And then take your hands onto the back of the right thigh and hug your right thigh as close to your chest as you can. Without letting that leg lift, stretch the right heel up away from you. So if you're doing this the right way, that right leg will not get straight. It will stay bent. You want that right thigh to be as close to your ribs as you can hold it. Press the shoulders down, don't let the neck tighten. And then stretch your right leg out straight on the ground and change. Bring the left knee up. So I like to do these circles with hands on hips so that I can feel that my pelvis is not moving. Squeeze the belly tight, but keep breathing as you roll that left thigh. Softening into sides of neck, but squeezing the belly tight. and then circle in the opposite direction. We're still flexing the right ankle, pressing the back of the right thigh and knee down to touch the ground. Stay with your breath. And next time your knee comes into your chest, squeeze the shin in close. Get your left thigh as close to your left side of your body as you can. And then slide hands onto the back of the thigh and press your thigh bone in nice and close to your left waist. Keep that there. And start to lift your left heel. So again, we don't want that left leg to be completely straight because then your thigh will be lifting up away from your body. Keep trying to touch the top of the thigh to the left waist or left ribs. Left leg still strong. And then bending your left knee, take your foot to the ground on the inside of the right thigh, and we're going to move into a twist. So we're coming into a full minute here. So these hip openers, these hip release poses are also very good for back release. Everything that we're doing for hips is also going to give you a back release as well. So you've got a double benefit of this session today. Now, keep twisting that left thigh and hip up and over to the right. Flatten the left upper back on the floor. Sink the back of your head down into the mat. And each time you breathe out, drop your left arm deeper down. Your right leg can fully relax. The foot is flopped over towards the ground on the right. Come back to noticing your breath, watching it flow in and out. Keeping the mind centered. Keeping the mind calm through your breath focus. And then rolling up to center. Stretch the left leg on the mat. Bend your right knee up. And we'll take that twist over to the other side. Right thigh rolls over the left hip. You can rest your left hand on that right leg, but don't let your right shoulder or arm come off the ground. Fully flatten down into the right upper back, shoulder, and arm. And once more, soften the sides of the neck. Soften the back of your neck and your throat. Relax all the muscles in your face. Keep the breath flowing gently. Keep noticing that you are breathing. And then rolling yourself back up to center. And once more, you're going to hug your knees into your chest. And from here, we're going to make our way up to sitting. So gently rocking to your side or rocking forwards and up. We're coming to a tall, straight spine. So we're going to take some twists here, and if sitting with cross ankles doesn't feel good on your knees, you sit with straight legs and you can twist with straight legs like I'm about to do. So you keep big toes together and you take the twist with the legs straight. Otherwise, if it's comfortable, coming to cross ankles, lift your chest up high and twist around to the left. Right hand is on the outside of that left leg. Turn your right palm away from you. And then you've got 3 directions you can turn your face, so choose one. Then with each in-breath, we'll lift up taller through the top of your head, lengthening through both sides of your neck. Each in-breath, chest lifts higher to straighten the spine. Keeping that tall, straight back, we'll untwist yourself. We're going to change the cross of the legs if you're working with cross ankles. And then on an exhale, circle around to the opposite side. Left hand on the outside of the right leg, left palm turns away from you so that you don't pull onto the leg. You pull onto your leg with cross ankles, you tend to lift the knees. If your legs are straight, you can actually hook your fingers into the outside of that right thigh. And soften shoulders down away from your ears. And keep them moving back towards your upper back. Upper back keeps lifting high. And on an inhale, untwist yourself. Stretching both legs straight out in front of you. Big toes together to start. And then bend the left knee up and step your left foot over your right thigh. We're taking a twist again. Now some people like to take the arm to the outside of the leg here, and that tends to crunch the shoulder. Remember, what goes on in your shoulders affects your hips. So sink the shoulders, keep them even with each other, square to the floor. And with each in-breath, lifting your chest up higher. Check that your right foot is still flexed and active to keep the right leg muscles engaged. And now when you untwist yourself, circle the chest forward, slide your left foot to the inside of the right thigh and drop your knee down in a Janu sirsasana shape, then twist around to the other side. So just flop that left knee towards the ground, left hand on the outside of the right leg, and pressing down with the back of the right knee and the right heel. Don't let that right heel come off the ground. And circling forwards, stretch your left leg out in front of you, bend the right knee up, step your right foot over your left thigh. Make sure you keep your right bum on the mat as you twist around to the other side. Drawing your shoulders back away from your chest. The chest goes up with each in-breath, and with each out-breath, sinking your right bum and hip down in the opposite direction. Stay nice and heavy in that right sits bone. Don't roll it off the floor. And your left foot stays flexed and active the whole time here. Untwist yourself. Slide your right foot over to the inside of the left thigh or knee even, and drop the right knee down as you twist around to the left again. Right hand to the outside of the left leg. Check your left foot is still flexed. Don't lift your left heel off the ground because that over compresses the knee joint. Push the left heel into the floor. Keep noticing your breath. And untwisting yourself. We're going to bring feet up into Baddha konasana. Do not hold your toes. Hold the ankles. And then bounce your knees up and down. So when your knees are bent in a deep flexion like this and you hold your toes and you lift them off the ground, that is really bad for your knees. So you don't want to hold the feet here. Hold the ankles. And then let's take some rocks from side to side. Doesn't matter if your bum doesn't come off the floor. It's just shifting weight from left to right or fully rocking each bum off the floor. Then we're coming back to center. And you're going to keep your legs in a Baddha konasana. Take your hands back behind you. Turn your fingers away from you, not forwards in the direction of your toes. Fingers point back away from your hips. Lean onto your palms. And then step your feet to the sides of the mat or even wider. And like you did on your back, you roll your knees left to right. Now this time, bum stays on the ground. Do not tilt your hips. Keep the bum down as you roll. You can see now I'm doing what you shouldn't be doing. Keep the hips down and just roll the legs. Don't roll the pelvis. Don't move your spine other than to lift it up away from your hands behind you. Rolling with the breath, just like you did on your back. And Now next time you lift your knees up to center, we're going to keep them there. Slide your feet in to touch each other again. And once more, coming to Baddha konasana. This time we're taking the twist. So we hook your right fingers over your left ankle and twist the left arm back behind you. Now once you're here, you work with your breath. Each time you breathe out, sink the leg bones and try not to pull that left shin bone or ankle up with your right hand. Keep it sinking down. The higher you hold up your leg towards that left knee, the more likely you will do a lift with the hand. So keep it down. Try and keep your hand lower towards your ankle. Chest stays up high as you circle forwards. On an exhale, twist around to the other side. Again, holding right ankle with left hand. If you have to be higher up on the shin, be careful you're not pulling your leg up away from the floor. That will tighten the inner groins. We're trying to release the groins here. Stay tall, lifting with each in-breath. And then untwisting and stretching both legs straight. Start with feet touching. Then bring left foot to the inside of the right thigh in your Janu sirsasana legs again. And we're taking the forward fold, either hands to the mat or hands to shin or hands to your foot. But make sure that that right foot is flat as if you were standing on the floor right now with it. Careful not to look back at your chest or your belly or even at your right thigh. Look towards your shin or your right foot. And keep stretching the top of your head forwards away from your hips. With an inhale, come all the way up and we'll change to the other side. Left leg straight, right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Flex your left ankle but keep the heel on the ground and then fold to wherever you are going. Make sure you're not trying to pull yourself too deep. Anytime you're pulling yourself, you're going to be tightening your body, not releasing. You start to create resistance in the body rather than a letting go by trying to pull yourself deeper into a stretch. So releasing tension is all about working with the breath, not forcing yourself into an intense sensation of stretch. So it's better to ease out and breathe. And coming all the way up, we make our way onto hands and knees. So all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. So you're in that box shape with your body, moving into cats and cows to release more of the spine. So we inhale into your cow stretch, exhale up into your cat stretch, rounding your back to the sky. Try to keep the elbows straight, spaces spread between your fingers, and your first two fingers next to your thumbs are parallel to each other like a number 11. Don't have the fingers turning out at a diagonal angle, or even worse would be turned in. That's not good for the wrists or the shoulders. And then we're coming into flat back. And keep your arms under your shoulders. Walk your knees and your calves and feet in to touch each other, and we'll roll hips from side to side. Exhale to roll the hips down. Inhale to lift back to the midline. Try not to let your feet lift off the ground. That puts too much pressure on the knee joint. So keep weight back into the toes and the ankles. The knees have a bit more freedom. Nice and strong in the arms. So you might feel this as a deep, intense stretch in the wrists, and that's okay. You're not going to be here for very long. Keep noticing your breath, and then let's hold it off to one side. Notice if the shoulders are twisting here. Try and keep them over your wrists. Squeeze your belly up tight. Keep breathing. Rolling up to center and then leaning over to the other side with your pelvis. Both knees are still on the ground, again, to keep the knees safe, but also to give more support to your lower back. And coming back up to center, take your knees under your hips, a little bit wider apart again. Hips stay over the knees as you slide your arms forward into a baby down dog. So in your puppy pose, you can have forearms on the mat, elbows on the mat, or elbows lifted. If your elbows are off the ground, keep pressing them up away from the floor. So you're not just hovering in the air, you're actively pushing the arm bones up if your arms are straight and not resting on the mat. Relax into the back of your neck. Soften between the shoulder blades in the upper back. And then make your way back up onto palms. And we're going into full down dog here. So lifting your knees off the mat and stretching back into your heels. You can always walk your dog out or pedal your knees, but make sure palms and fingers are flat on the ground. Common mistake in a down dog is to lean the weight into the outside of the wrist, the baby finger side of the hand. So make sure you're not doing that. That is not good for your shoulders or your elbows or wrists. And walking your feet forwards to your hands. Keep them hip distance apart at the top of the mat, and we're going to stay in a forward hang. So knees are as wide as your heels, so press them out away from each other. Don't lean them in towards each other. Knees can be bent or straight, doesn't matter. And then swaying from side to side if that feels good for you. Hanging the top of the head towards the floor. Don't look at the mat. Nose points back to between your legs. And then bringing your hands or fingertips to the ground under your shoulders. And we're going to bend and straighten the knees. So you exhale to bend, inhale to stretch the legs straight. Make sure as you straighten, you tip into your hands. So arms are holding you up here. As the legs straighten, don't lean back into your bum. Exhale to bend, inhale to stretch up, and keep pressing knees out away from each other each time you lengthen. This is a really good way to trick your hamstrings and your calves into releasing. And then sinking all the way down again. Knees can be bent or straight. Super heavy in the upper body. Fully relax your face. We're going to make our way into a wide leg forward fold. So stepping your left leg back behind you. Turn to face the side of your mat. Turn your feet parallel to each other and sink all the way down. Again, your knees can be bent or straight here. And if you want to, you can also do that same bending and straightening you just did at the top of the mat in Uttanasana with the feet closer together. Or just hanging all the way down. So really, really deep stretch out for your glutes. Walking back up onto your hands. Turn your right toes to the top of your mat. Hands to either side that right foot. From there, stepping back into down dog. We're going to hold our downward facing dog for a few breaths. Check the alignment of your hands. Palms flat on the ground. And once more, try not to lean all your weight onto the baby finger side of the hand. Put quite a lot of weight in the thumb as well, but make that even across the palm and the wrist. Knees can be bent or straight. Sometimes bending the knees actually gives you a better release of tension in the body. Okay, making your way down onto all fours. And then threading your right arm behind your left wrist, shoulder to the ground, coming into a twisting baby down dog, either keeping your left hand on the ground in front of your nose or sliding your palm forwards on the mat over your head. Fully sink down into that right shoulder. And check that your hips are balanced over your knees. And then your big toes are not coming together behind you. You want the calves and shins to be parallel. And making your way back up onto hands. and threading your left arm behind your right wrist. Shoulder to the mat, face turns to the right. Either right hand on the ground in front of your nose with elbow bent, or sliding your palm forwards. And then balance out in the pelvis over the knees again. Hips are directly over those knee joints. Making your way back up onto hands and knees. And from here we're going to come down to sitting. So you're going to take your legs straight out in front of you. And either keeping the legs straight if that's most comfortable, or coming to cross ankles if you are able to. And we're folding forwards over the legs. So if you've got cross ankles, relax into the feet and either just resting the palms on the mat in front of your shin, or sliding your arms further forwards and then letting your head hang. Now don't look back towards your chest. I know that feels good in the neck, but it will increase the rounding of your spine. And we want to keep trying to lengthen the spine here. So with each in-breath, chest stretches forwards, not back towards your belly. Making your way back up onto hands. If you have crossed legs, change, bring the other shin in front, and once again fold forwards. Either just tipping onto your palms or sliding the hands as far forward as you can. And once more, when you let your head hang, don't look back towards your body. Look straight down to the mat underneath you, or forwards towards your hands if you're a little bit higher up. Each time you breathe out, sinking into hips and thighs. Each time you breathe in, stretching your chest and the top of your head forwards away from your legs. Walking back up onto hands. And now you're going to open your legs out into a V shape. And we're going to come to Upavishta Janu sirsasana, bringing your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. We're keeping the thighs wide, and when you fold not towards your right leg, but in between the two thighs. So maybe just tipping forwards onto palms, maybe going quite deeply into the forward bend, depending on your body. Make sure that your bum on both sides are on the ground. So we tend to lift the right bum off the ground here to try and tip further forward. That's not actually taking you deeper into the forward bend. It's just going to start to over tighten your back on one side. So sink that right thigh down. Make sure the right butt is on the ground. Don't cheat. And coming all the way up, left leg opens out, and we bring the right foot in. And again, don't tip towards the left leg. You fold between the two thighs and press that left bum flat into the mat. Make sure your left foot is not flopping over. Flex the ankle and point your toes and your left knee straight up to the roof. Feeling those thighs sink deeper with each out breath. And making your way all the way up. We're going to bring the legs together again. You're going to need your strap. And from there, once you have your strap, we'll lie down onto our backs. So once you're lying down, you're going to bend your knees, place your feet on the floor a little bit apart from each other. Sink down into your upper back and the back of your head. And we'll take the strap over the left foot. So rather have your strap just below the toes rather than over the arch of the foot or the heel. There is a version of this over the heel, but let's just stick to over the base of the toes today. So right foot is on the ground, knee is bent, pointing up. And then we're stretching up through the back of the left leg. Don't worry if that left leg doesn't straighten fully. It's fine if your left knee is bent, but your bum on both sides should be on the ground, and both sides of your upper back should be on the ground as well. Nose points straight up. Feel the arm bones sink and soften into your armpits. Relax the sides of the neck. Relax the back of your neck as well. With each exhale, sinking the inner thighs down, sinking the inner groins down as well. And now walking your right hand up your strap, so holding both sides of the strap with the right hand. Sink your left shoulder down. We're twisting. Drop your right knee over to the floor on the right. Take the left thigh over your body. Stretch into that left heel. So that left knee can still be bent, but push your heel away from your knee. And with each out breath, drop down into the left shoulder, into the left upper back and arm. Do not let the left shoulder lift off the ground. That's going to tighten the left side of your neck and your upper back. So release neck and upper back by sinking the shoulder into the floor. And keeping your mind focused on the breath. Watch the breath moving in and out through your nostrils. And then lifting back up to center. Strap off that left foot and we take that to the other side. So left knee bends, left foot is on the ground in front of the left hip. Take your strap or your belt over your right foot, just below the toes on the top part of the foot. And then sink your head back down into the ground. Hips nice and square on the floor. And don't worry about that right knee being bent or straight. Do what feels most comfortable for you, but don't lift the right bum off the mat. So hips flat on the floor, lower back flat on the floor, and then your upper back and both shoulders also sinking down into the mat. Nose points straight up. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes and eyelids. Soften into cheeks and mouth. Softening the belly. And then holding onto the two sides of the strap with your left hand. Walk that hand as close to your right foot as you can. Drop your right shoulder and arm down to the ground and we take our twist. Flop your left knee over to the ground on the left and take that right leg over your body. As the right hip goes up, make sure that you're flexing your right ankle, pulling your toes back towards you. And with each out breath, drop that right shoulder and arm deeper, flatter into the ground beneath you. Still flexing the right ankle, and that right knee can be bent, just don't relax the foot. Nose points straight up here. Softening sides and back of the neck, and softening into your throat. Making your way back up to center, take your strap or belt off your foot and let's hug knees into chest. So you can either stay with just hugging knees or shins, or you can take your happy baby, which means opening the knees wider and lifting your heels up over your knees. So you're basically in a squat, lying on your back, holding onto ankles or calves or heels or inner outer edges of the feet, and then maybe rocking side to side. Stay heavy with the lower spine. Make sure your bum is not curling up off the floor. Even though you're rocking side to side, Try to keep sinking your pelvis. And then centering yourself again and hugging the shins once more. We're going to move into a 3-minute Savasana or relaxation. So sliding your legs straight out, flopping the feet open, relax your thighs, and sink your arms down into the ground wherever they're most comfortable for you. Now noticing how each time you breathe in, there's a sense of spaciousness and freedom in the chest. And how each time you breathe out, there's that deep, sinking, releasing, letting go feeling. Allow yourself to fully release into that letting go right now. Breathing yourself heavier and heavier into a place of rest and relaxation. Allowing yourself to float and be free. And now bringing your awareness back to your body, starting to wake up your fingers and your toes, wiggling them around, rolling your wrists and your ankles. And then taking in a deep breath, have a full stretch open from fingertips to tips of toes. And once more bringing knees to chest and giving yourself a hug and a squeeze. Carefully making your way up to sitting for our closing invocation. Bringing hands together at your heart center. May our minds be open to the divine light that guides us. May our hearts be open to the divine love that surrounds us. May the angels keep us and bless us and bring us joy. Namaste, everyone, and thank you.